Okay, so we've got polarizing events all over the world. The biggest three-ring circus of a presidential election happening in the US. We've got now the stock market crashing. Is there any reason to feel optimistic about being here on Earth right now? I say yes. And the energies of this lionsgate, this 8-8 portal that we're in right now, is a big clue why. So I want to share with you a portion of one of my private gatherings that was held last night, where I talked about the energies of right now, what's going on. I'm going to share an Akashic message to help us with these energies, a little bit about the Lionsgate and what that means and why this 2024 Lionsgate is such a special one, as well as introducing the idea of fire souls. Are you one? Stick around and find out.
The lionsgate is concerning the star Sirius, which is considered our spiritual sun. It's a very potent star. Technically, it's the heliacal rising of the star Sirius in the sign of Leo. What that means is that it's when the star Sirius kind of dawns right above the eastern horizon in the sign of Leo, and that happens at various dates depending on your latitude, depending on location. And so this year it's starting in mid-July all the way through very early September, depending where you are on the globe. But most people like to celebrate it on August 8th. And because that is sort of like kind of the high point of it, but it's also taking advantage of the numerology of the 8-8. And 8 has a lot of meanings in it, amongst them infinity, or this idea of kind of eternity and abundance and manifesting. And this year is a really special Lionsgate because 2024 also adds up to 8. So we have the 888. And so it's like really pushing a lot of like this supercharged energy of manifesting, or the ability to manifest, this ability to tap into the infinite. And it's also a time, this whole Lionsgate, of when we get a lot of light codes, right? Because again, the star Sirius is considered kind of the sun to our sun. And basically what happens with this heliacal rising is that the Earth, the Sun, and Sirius are all aligned. And so it kind of opens this portal to receive a lot of really powerful light codes. And so this is why I was so excited about this particular gathering, because we're really reveling in these energies, and we can start to work with these in really positive ways. Now, I also want to share what I'm personally feeling about this time right now in 2024. And that relates to what I call fire souls, which I'll explain in just a little bit. But for the past few years, I'm sure everybody's aware, we've been moving through this really intense juncture of time where like things seem to be speeding up, things are just happening, craziness is happening right in the world, things are shifting in ways that they haven't in thousands of years. And per my understanding, I won't get into the whole history of this, but we are really at this juncture of a rising of consciousness, or a shift of consciousness, which corresponds in intensity or in degree to when humans, like the whole human consciousness, appeared on the earth, right? So it's really big. And what's happening is we're shifting as a collective, or the earth herself, right? We are children of the earth. We're part of this earth consciousness. We are actually helping the consciousness of the earth to rise. And earth's chakra kind of orientation is moving from like solar plexus into heart consciousness. So we're collectively experiencing an opening of the heart chakra. And what that's doing is really ushering in a really higher vibration energy, which you can call New Earth. I think in the Christian circles, a lot of them call it the kingdom, or this kind of energy. It's like the renewal of Eden. And that is what is possible for us. These are the energies that we are being invited to invite in. And so I want to talk a little bit about this concept of fire soul. This is a term that's been with me since before, like while I was still pretty asleep, right? I bought this URL, Souls of Fire, right? Because it really just like was like I have to have that URL. I have to have it. And I didn't even know why. This must have been back in 2010, right? So I had this kind of big spiritual awakening starting in 2014. It's been years and years and years. And this whole Souls of Fire thing has been sort of like dancing around in my head for this long. And it's finally really become very, very clear to me what this is. And it actually, the word Souls of Fire came from um, an organization called the Natural Step, which was really big in the sustainability movement back in the 2000 aughts. And it was, I think, from Sweden. And the idea was they were working with communities to help communities come together and become more sustainable or more sensitive to the earth and how to work with her in ways that are harmonious. And the I can't remember his name, but the leader or the founder of this organization talked about one of the first things you do when you go into a community, and it's basically it's like uh, it's facilitating change, facilitating positive change to align with the earth, right? And so he said one of the first things they did was to when they went into a new community to try to start sustainability initiatives was he said we look for the fire souls, and those are he defined as people who kind of got the idea and were well connected and had this kind of ability to step in and be influential or to step in and help assist this shift to happen, bringing ease into the process because they're already connected with the community and they have this understanding, and it just helps the whole thing if you can identify those people. Well, what I've realized is like many of us light workers, we're fire souls, right? We're these souls of fire, but we're here not for specifically, whatever kind of 3D idea of sustainability, but we're really here for the planet. And I don't know, anybody here feel like they've been recruited? Raise your hand. So either we chose for some reason our soul or we were recruited to come down at this time, but it's not an accident that we were here, that we are here now, right? And if you're not resonating with this, you may have a little bit different soul mission, but I sort of suspect that most people here on this call will resonate with this, because we're here at this very, very critical juncture on Earth. We are change agents, and we're here to bring in the new energy, to open our own hearts, and then through our open hearts, to kind of work with the connections that we have and our ability to our spiritual gifts. And we've been around the block many times spiritually, and many of us have been through this process before, right? On other planes, we kind of like, even if we don't feel like we know what we're doing, at some level we do, right? And we're here to assist the process. And so what I'm feeling right now with this year 2024, it's uh it's sort of like a huge fire soul activation year, right? Because what I'm really feeling strongly is a lot of the work that we've been doing the past few years has been kind of clearing the way, planting seeds, opening portals, bringing in light codes and stuff. And this just feels to me like, okay, a lot of us are going to be given or already are being given this go ahead. Like it's time to take radical action, right? It's time to really step into our soul missions and start to just really do stuff. And that is going to be different for each one of us. We're at different maybe points on our journeys, right? So for some of us, taking action might actually be getting really still and quiet right now, or it might be to step out, more actively in the world. Um, it might be to step up your purification process, a lot of things it could look like for you. But the intention here with this gathering is just really to help us to align with our higher self and with our soul mission, and to bring in or call in the blessing and the assistance from our spirit team to help us really level up in our own soul mission, right? Whatever that is. I did want to share with you just real quick this. Oh, yes, it's about agency. Part of really stepping in and being more actively creating new earth is what we're doing, through this manifestation process, or just holding our own vibration, holding that high vibration. We have to be aware of, we're allowed to start to work with energies in a more bold way, right? We're allowed to have agency, meaning, we can choose. We have free will. And I feel like the encouragement right now is like, don't be timid going forward, right? Really just tune into that guidance, and it's okay to be bold, and it's okay. Hi, Kitty. This is Maddie. She wants attention. It's not just okay, but it's like we're being actively encouraged. It's like, whoops, sorry. We're creator beings, and we're here to create new earth, and to create is an active process, and it takes making decisions and wanting something and taking steps for that to come into being. And so I feel like we're really being guided and supported in, we can create whatever it is we want, right? The creation process, we want to be clear. Right? We don't have to be clear on exactly how things go. In fact, sometimes it's best to leave to spirit, but we do want to be clear on the vibration of what we want to bring in. Okay, that's huge. And it also helps to understand where you came from, right? So just to be the simplest is like, we are all emanations or individualized expressions of the all, the one creator source, right? And so to feel that power is really important, because there's a tendency in a lot of light workers to have this kind of self-doubt, or lack of boundaries, all that kind of thing. But feel your own power. You're directly connected with source, and source wants to speak through you, to move through you, right? To express itself through you. And we can only do that when we're really, really clear on, okay, I am a powerful being and I'm meant to be, right? So having that sense of power, where we came from, having that sense of what we want to bring in, and then combining it, coming to the heart, right? Is the third one. So I want to real quick share this inquiry. I work with the Akashic Guides, and I asked about the energy of this cross quarter point and the Lion's Gate. All right. The first thing they showed me was the color purple and the stone amethyst. So this would be a powerful stone to use right now. And they showed me thunder beings, storm clouds, and activity in the upper atmosphere. So just showing we're really in a charged atmosphere right now. Okay. And so what they said was, this cross quarter point will open a floodgate of emotional activity. Okay. Emotions that have been held back for generations are likely to move. It is an unfreezing of certain emotional frequencies that will ultimately enable certain types of healing to take place. And just as an aside, the emotional body is a super important aspect of the creation process. Generally, it goes from thought into the emotions. The emotions kind of trigger the actions that bring things into physical reality, right? So this is an unleashing of kind of frozen emotions. To go on with the inquiry, it is important for those who understand this, that this is an unfreezing here, to stay in a place of neutrality as much as possible. It may feel somewhat like holding a child who is throwing a tantrum or having a meltdown. And this will depend on who you are, what your soul mission is, where you are on the planet, all this stuff. So some of us may feel this to a greater extent than others, right? But we all know all the stuff that's going on the planet right now. And they say, remember, the child's emotions are not yours. The child is allowing the emotions to run through them. In the same way, be aware that the emotions of a crowd you may be in the midst of, whether online or in person, are not yours. The emotions have a spirit of their own, and the crowd acts as a transmitter. Okay, I'm going to say that again. The emotions have a spirit of their own. The crowd acts as a transmitter. Depending on the level of awareness present, the energy can be amplified, or it can be redirected or even transmuted. Your job, is what they're saying, is to remain calm and present and to keep your head and do what you can to redirect this energy and or keep things safe while it runs its course. In effect, to be a grounding rod for emotional energy. This energy may manifest physically through solar flares, earthquakes, or similar occurrences. It may manifest as political upheavals. It may be seen at the individual or the organizational level. Those adept at moving energy are instructed to direct this energy to ground. The more grounded you can be, the less damage or suffering will come of this. This energy needs to be released. Do not try to stop it. Get out of the way if you do not feel capable of redirecting it. So they're just kind of giving us an advance notice, right? And that, okay, whatever it is that we see, and it may be incredibly emotional, and there may be lots of triggering things, and we may be invited and many times over from many different directions to get caught up in the emotions. So what they're encouraging is just like holding the space. So anyway, that's what I wanted to relay to you because it felt very like it's preparing us for something. One last thing that I am guided to kind of mention is that we are in this process of dissolving the old paradigm, right? And that sometimes has this kind of war, sort of spiritual warfare aspect to it. So we are really, at the same time that we're on this battleground, we're also in this birthing space, this space of creation, of building, right? So, we can be aware of the warfare and doing what we need to protect ourselves or whatever on that level, while still really focusing the majority of our attention on, our awareness on, this is our vision, devoting our life force energy to that vision and to the manifestation of it. Doesn't mean we lose sight of there's maybe spiritual warfare, whatever going on, but not letting it distract us, right, beyond what we need to do.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, you will love being a part of my private membership group. It is free to join for all light workers and heart-centered spiritual seekers. I'm going to put the link in the description below. The full meditation gathering replay is in our community portal, which you'll have access to after you join. So if you wish to receive a beautiful guided meditation to help align with the energies that are coming at us, the light codes that are coming at us right now in a way that will be gentle and effective and give you greater access to these energies, I really encourage you to sign up. Hope to see you there and enjoy this Lionsgate season.